Hello, soul family. I love you all. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. My name's Jeremiah, and you're tuning into Secrets of the Sacred Serpent. We discuss all things spirituality and the occult. Today, I was just wanting to come on here and talk a little bit about how magic is evolving as we're going into this winter solstice and the great conjunction of December 21st, 2020, where we're shifting into a new age, the age of Aquarius. And just to kind of have an understanding of where I'm coming from in this video, so in the past 200 years, up until the winter solstice of this year, Saturn and Jupiter have been having their planetary alignment stuff happening in the so their conjunctions and their oppositions in all earth signs for 200 years. So if you really look at a lot of the grimoires of the time and really all the magic that has came out and magical organizations and a lot of the writing and stuff about magic has been very earth-based. Lots of doing things in the physical plane. So a lot of the magic has been enacted out in front of you. You're doing rituals with crystals, and you're doing rituals with making all these things and all having everything external, basically, to be able to focus your attention. So when you're doing work, you're working at the altar, and you're bringing all these things out and doing things in the physical realm. And also, a lot of the magic has been low magic that most people get into, where it's all just stuff to benefit them in the physical plane, trying to get relationships and get sex and get money and job and power and influence. This has been the majority of most of the stuff that I see out here on like YouTube and different social media platforms. Most of the magic that's talked about, except for most of the people that I follow, all are doing all just low magic stuff. So it's like there's a large majority doing that, and then there's only a select few people that are really tapping in deep, and they're all like soul family. Everybody, it's like a big community. But what I'm getting at is all of this has been directly focused on the physical plane, low magic stuff to benefit us here and to keep us focused on the outside. It's been keeping us being so focused on the outside that we haven't looked within and see what this big shift that's happening is, and why with the COVID thing and the lockdowns, people think that the governments did all this stuff to align it, but the universe aligned all this stuff to make each and every one of us sit down and slow down and be bored for a while and be stuck not being able to get out and do all of our regular things. It really made a lot of people go within and reevaluate their lives and their purpose and what they're doing in the world. So it's much bigger picture than just governments and people conspiring to control us. Even at a bigger level, the entire universe is aligning all this stuff, all the planetary alignments and crazy eclipses and you name it, supermoons, conjunctions and oppositions and all kinds of different just planetary alignments that have really just pushed in the big shift this year. And even in 2017, I was working with a lot of spirits in the beginning, like goetic spirits, just for a lot of low magic stuff. But as I went along, I began to understand them as being a part of myself, and then I started working on high magic. But can't remember what I was getting at with that. But yes, so what's going to be happening is the great conjunction is happening at 1 degree in Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign. So for the next 200 years, those big movements in the heavens on the furthest planets, and in like modern astronomy or whatever, they viewed the other, like Pluto and Uranus and Neptune and other planets, but like in the ancient times, Saturn and Jupiter was the bee's knees. It was the furthest out, and if you look at it kabbalistically, this is the first planet that represents form, structure, and stuff, because of Bina. That's the first expression of form within Kabbalah. And then the next is actually the second expression of force, the first one being Hokmah, but this one is the first planetary corresponding expression of force. So you have force and form in constant flux. But since we're moving into the age of 200 years in the air element, that means we're going to be moving into an age of consciousness. That's why consciousness is shifting. Everybody's going within. Not like so many people are coming up with the craziest chaos magic things and manifesting so much cool things and really transforming themselves as they go. Like in everyday life, just having that understanding that you're completely connected to the universe, and you don't have to have all these implements and tools and and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with having your tools and your crystals and having an external thing to be able to direct your mind to, but what I'm saying is everything is transforming, and we're moving into the air element, which is into the mind. So this next 200 years is going to be about evolution of consciousness. There's going to be a lot of technologies come out that's going to be able to help us with our consciousness, and I'm not talking about stuff to plug your brain into a computer. I'm talking about just other different binaural beat frequencies that are already coming out with electromagnetic stimulations and coils and stuff that you can have emitting certain frequencies and stuff. I have a big feeling that there's going to be a lot of medicine come out with these electromagnetic frequencies and breaking down certain diseases and cancers and whatnot. But AI is going to be getting big, but which is the artificial version of who we are. But and it is an expression that comes out of us, as we are an expression that comes out of the universe. AI has been an expression that comes out of us. And then like a lot of people are saying how simulations, AI will be building worlds inside of worlds as well, how we have within the universe. But start working on focusing on your meditation practices and your visualization practices, and being able to practice magic just on the go with literally just your thought, your directed thought, and putting energy at a single point of focus, like with Dharana, on your visualization or on your intentions, and be sure that you connect the emotions with it. So you need to put yourself in the place with the visualization as if you already have what it is that you desire, and feel the emotion of the excitement that you have it, and then put the physical action by walking out into the world and putting in the work to actually let it manifest. And you'll be able, the more and more you practice with this, you will be able to manifest anything that you want, whether it is just chaos magic and influencing people's thoughts and desires when it comes to getting yourself up in businesses and stuff like that, being able to manipulate financial markets with just your thoughts. Remember, you are connected to the universe, and cryptocurrency is going to be a big thing that's going to be going on. But when it comes to magic, things are moving into the air sign, so we're going to be doing much more chaos magic, much more creating our own forms of magic and our own what's the word I'm looking for? Okay, let me go back to this. Okay, you know how you have like the Golden Dawn and the AA and all those older orders that a lot of people follow and stuff like that, and they have a sort of structure to where people can follow it to get to where the people before them had actually attained. They give you the map basically and say, look, we attain this by doing this, so you do this and you can get this. Well, this new age, it's going to be about us following our intuition and delving deeply into our subconscious mind and actually coming up with our own systems. And that's why really the most powerful magic is not something that you go and get a grimoire and work with spirits, or you go and get somebody else's spell that someone else created on the internet and just try to follow that to a T and just expect it to happen without really delving into your consciousness and really getting into the experience of doing the ritual and allowing yourself to get into an altered state and changing your brain waves so that you can actually tap into the subconscious. If you're just following a spell off the internet, you really, that's something someone else created. That's for someone else's subjective universe. You need to create something for your own universe. Pull it out of your soul, seriously, and just follow your intuition and allow your inner being, your inner daemon, or your higher self, whichever way you want to look at it, guide you into what to do with magic and how to create your own rituals. And I would definitely say delve heavily into a lot of the Eastern traditions of yoga, and not just yoga in asanas and doing these poses and stuff. That's just preparatory yoga. I'm talking about pranayama and pratyahara and dharana, and actually doing the meditative practices and like a japa, all these Eastern yogic and tantric practices that will help you to work on your mind and discipline your mind and be able to do the magic on the go like you want to, because a out of control mind that's just here and there constantly thinking a bunch of crazy thoughts and not really being able to focus is a big problem in society today. And that's why I feel dharana is so important, because it lets you be able to mold your mind into concentration and focus, and then from there you can move into a true meditative state with dhyana. But just dharana itself, where you are training your mind and basically restructuring your mind into something that benefits you. Meditation is so important. I've always felt like meditation was so important, and just the deeper that I dig into it, the more it transforms me in my life. But yes, we're moving into the age of consciousness, the age of evolution of consciousness. I guarantee you're going to see a lot more of people doing this aerokinesis, controlling the air, or telekinesis, controlling things with their mind. Actually, the practice of Tritaka is said to help awaken a lot of your clairvoyant and psychic abilities, just by literally focusing on a flame candle without blinking for long periods of time, or on any little single item, just learning how to focus the eyes. I'm actually going to make a bunch of videos for the Japa series and the Trakata from Dharana Darshan, so people can actually start practicing these practices. But I definitely think that you guys should definitely get that book, because it's a very, very, very good book. It's a lot of people in like the Amazon things and people that did reviews for the book said, it was the deepest delving into meditation and yogic practices without having yogic, tantric, and meditative practices that come from like the Upanishads, without actually going and having a guru in front of you. Is the closest thing, and I definitely agree with it, because it's a very powerful book. But that's about it, you guys. Start working on evolving your consciousness and learning how to tap into your astral and etheric body. Learn how to manipulate your subconscious mind. I got a bunch of videos on here, just go check out my earlier videos. But we're definitely moving into the age of Aquarius, and good old Sol has set behind the houses, so I guess that's my call to go ahead and go inside, because I've been out here grounded and sun gazing since the sun was way over there, a good hour and more. I actually came out here and was going to just start recording the video, and I kind of got myself into a trance practicing Trakata, practicing Tatraka by staring at the sun. And in Dharana Darshan it says not to stare directly at the sun or moon, because it can mess up your eyes. But you know, there are many, many studies showing that sun gazing is beneficial. So I believe that was just coming from their tradition and how they had been taught not to stare at the sun because of beliefs from the past. But now we know that sun gazing is a powerful spiritual practice, so I incorporate it into my practice. All right, you guys. I love you guys. Just remember, we're moving into earth-based magic, into air-based magic. We're moving from the physical plane and just tapping in mostly to the physical plane into the mental plane, and that leads through our consciousness leads us to all the other planes, the astral and the etheric plane, the spiritual plane, mental and emotional. All of that you must go through Yesod, as it said, which Yesod is the mind, the subconscious mind, the imagination, your internal subjective world. So that's where the big magic is going to happen, is in us. It's going to be something that changes us from within. And guess what happens when you change the world inside of you? You change the world around you changes on the outside, because that's where the real change needs to happen, is inside of you. You need to really work on disciplining yourself and making sure that your spiritual practices are of as much, if not more important than any other aspect of your life. Now, always take care of being able to, your root chakra things like survival and making sure you have food and shelter and, you know, good relationships. But past that, your spiritual life and your spiritual practice should be a number one priority, aside from just the very foundational, making sure that I'm okay in the physical realm. Right after I do all my self-love practices, self-care, and I've done all my survival regular things, then the very first thing is my spiritual practice, and everything else falls behind that. So my studies, my ritual work, my meditation practice, connecting with nature, sun gazing and grounding, fasting. That's going to be a big one for the Monday on the big solar eclipse that marks the midpoint of the big X that crosses over America, that is going over Little Egypt. And on December 14th, it is exactly 1,211 days on either side of it from the eclipses that created X over the United States. And during that day is when the Electoral College sets in its final thing. So the energies are going to be crazy. And then on top of that, you have a new moon going from Sagittarius, I believe, into Capricorn, or Capricorn into Sagittarius. But yeah, big energy's coming. And then the winter solstice with the great conjunction. So you guys should be eating light for sure. What I'm doing is fasting and stuff leading up to it. And I'm eating very light, like grapes or fruit, just basically fruit, and then water, and then making sure I get all my spiritual practicing. All right, you guys, I think I'm kind of rambling, but yes, magic is changing and shifting, and the new magic is what we are going to be creating. The systems that we create, we're going to be delving deeply into our consciousness and evolving and creating systems that other people can be able to tap into. And since the world is shifting and everything's shifting to a spiritual nature, much more spiritual nature, those of us that have been putting in this work for the past 10 years are going to really be the people that people are going to come to. And we have to always be humble and make sure that we're doing everything in unconditional love and just helping everyone that we can, and not allowing those that are trying to be destructive in our life affect us in any way. All right, I love you guys. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Definitely leave a comment in the comment section down below, or questions if you have them. You guys subscribe if you haven't already, and like if you like the video. I love you all. Hope everyone has a wonderful day today. Peace.